After doing the mixtapes, you guys are building this crazy buzz. At what point did you guys hear the labels are interested?
Yeah, so after the mixtape came out, the buzz was crazy. Hot 97 radio started playing records off the mixtape freestyles, and that's like the actually some of the first freestyles that you hear on rotation. That was from 50 Cent, unknown artist, and Hot 97. New York was going crazy off of 50, so labels started getting interested. And this was a time when I was telling 50 that, like, even though I'm your go-to guy, I'm like connecting the dots. He made me, become his manager. I was like, yo, but we need somebody a little bit more in connection and a little bit more OG mode that could actually protect us and make sure we do the right thing. And I know this one person that I always looked up to. Brought my first track that I ever sold, and he's one of the illest managers in the game, Chris Lighty. And this my boy Slim Pickens used to have this party every Wednesday on the pier, Black Diamonds, and we would go to this party on the pier in Manhattan. All the industry people would be there, and I would go there every week. And Chris would see me there. I'll be with different homies, Gino here, this one here, little young industry dudes, and I will always run up to Chris. Yo, I'm working with 50. I'm telling you, he's next, Chris. And Chris, he got busted. He got everybody. He probably Ja Rule at the time, but he was like, he was slow to listen, but he kept listening to me because he knew I had the energy and I would did the Cormega shit. So he saw me running around always outside. So I was like, yo, Chris. After a while, after me saying it too many times and the record started going, he was like, yo, bring him to the office. And I was telling Fifth, like, yo, I've been telling Chris, you should meet him. I'm telling you, he's ill. And Fifth knew who he was. And he listened to me and he went to the city. And we went to Chris's office. And that connection was the real connection that actually helped everything get shaped into form because Chris knew every label. So immediately, it wasn't me having to deal with this person or that person. Chris took those calls and set up those meetings, whether we was at Jive, Atlantic, J Records, wherever we went. Chris was the one that set it up, and we walked into the room as a team. I done seen people from excited execs to scared execs to ones that already knew that they was going to sign him because they got a call to shut him down, the blackball call, but they wanted to take the meeting to see what this was all about, see what this energy was looking like. So we done seen it all. And even some of them we walked out of like, yo, that was kind of weird, bro. You seen his leg? It was shaking like a like he's scared. Like, so we done seen so many different vibes that first run, we was possibly gonna sign to J Records, and then immediately Chris started seeing Fifth blow. So this is a part that nobody has on documentation, and I only know and Fifth know. Chris was trying to sign Fifth to Violator Records. So he had Papoose, he had Mobb Deep, and he had Buster with Flip Mode, and he was doing this package deal with J Records, and he's Fifth. Instead of making him sign a management contract, he didn't want to be his manager. I was the manager. He was like, no, I want you to sign a Violator Records. So they did this 30-day deal where he was allowed to shop them for 30 days. And this is a gem right here, man. Fifth gonna smile, man. 30 days, man. Every label we went and met with. Chris was getting a deal together. The deal was coming through. Job was about to shoot a ill massive deal. And then we started learning that it was actually a package. We was a part of the package. It was gonna be 50 Mobb Deep in this, 50 Mobb Deep in Papoose. You know what I mean? And it was like, wait a second. We want this to be about him. So at the end, like probably the last day, I get a call from my lawyer, who eventually became 50's lawyer, and I told Fifth that this lawyer was cool and we need to get these kind of lawyers on the squad, and he's ill out here. And Theo called the studio when we was in the basement, and he called me and he was like, yo, M has been listening to this mixtape nonstop. Him and his security guard driving around Detroit going hard. His security guards was from Queens, so they was going harder for us, even knowing that he was from Southside. So the energy was crazy wherever M was at. He was like, yo, he wants y'all to fly to LA. We was like, when? He was like, as soon as possible. I said, yo, Theo, Fifth got on the phone with Theo. Fifth looked at me, booked a ticket, told Theo, me, Theo, and Fifth flew to LA, and that was the game changer. Flying to LA, just us three. We landed. We was at the Mondrian Hotel on Sunset. Fifth doing his workout and all that, and we were waiting for the next day to meet there with M, Dre, Paul, Jimmy, and Theo. And that meeting was the game changer. But I got a story to tell y'all before that meeting. But I'm going to just end it where this was all the labels that we met with. Didn't sign a Violator. The deal ended with Violator. And then on the 35th day is when he was like, I'm out of this contract. I'm going to sign with Shady Aftermath. So here's a quick behind the scenes little extra that I want to add, because I seen people on Drink Champs talking about me, but they won't even say my name, sounding crazy. Like, who you talking about? Like, what's his name? You know my name. I grew up with you. Hung out with your brother my whole childhood. Respected you. Worked on the street team. Asked you to connect me with people. Your one phone call, I appreciate that. You send me to Bearsville, I meet 50, right? But this dude, Steve Stout, is now an executive at Interscope. So while he hit on me, this is why I had to part from you, homie. So he's the only one through the whole industry that know we're in LA, because he works for Interscope, right? So he's Jimmy's top guy. So the day before the meeting, he comes to our hotel. I grew up with him. He's my OG. Same school, 1st to 8th grade. Him and my brother was in. Me and his brother grew up together, so we know each other. So I'm trusting him, right? So I'm like, yo, Fifth, Steve Stout want to talk to you. Fifth knew Steve Stout through Trackmaster, so it was nothing new, nothing uncomfortable. He said, all right, cool. We in the gym having a meeting. Steve on a treadmill, showing Fifth how fast he can run. I'm like, yo, you're a fat boy that can run fast. Wow, that's crazy. We laughing, we talking. And at the meeting, he says to me and Fifth, but he's talking to Fifth, don't sign to Shady Aftermath. You could sign to Rough Riders, or you could sign a Timberland label. He gave us other options, or you could just sign an Aftermath. But he was trying to talk us out of that deal, right? And this is the moment where Fifth really looked at me, and this is where I had to make a decision. And this is where you go back to Drink Champs and you see him on me. This is where he got mad. Fifth was like, yo, son, you working with me or you working with him? I respected Steve so much that I almost was applying that pressure with Fifth, and then I had to reverse it. I was like, yo, hold on a second, bro. You actually trying to look out for yourself and not even for us. You looking out for you as an exec and as an Interscope. You're not looking out for Fifth. You're not looking out for me. So Fifth was like, yo, Sha, don't talk to him no more, bro. Like, f him, bro. So the next day we took that meeting, and we never I never texted him back, never called him back. I was like, bro, we signed a hit. He didn't like that. And we ended up doing Shady Aftermath, and he was mad because he was trying to, wherever he was trying to take us was going to be in a failed direction. And we didn't listen. And from that moment on, that's when a little tension between, we fixed it a little bit with the RB Reebok deal, but that's where we knew that. And I was loyal to Fifth, and I wouldn't listen to no one else. He's like, you work for me or you work for him? I said, I'm with you, bro. And my loyalty was to him, never ever listen to another head that was trying to steer us in the wrong direction. And he signed a Shady Aftermath that June 20th, 2002, like weeks after that meeting. For real.
If you want to see this full interview without having to wait, you can join our YouTube memberships program for just $8 a month. You get the full interview, behind the scenes footage, and no ads. If you want more, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/diverse mentality. And for $10 a month, you can not only get these full interviews immediately, but also get uncut and ad-free documentaries as well. The link is in the description for both.